Dom Erik Varden, bispo de Trondheim, na Noruega, vai estar no Vaticano entre 22 e 27 de fevereiro para orientar o retiro de Quaresma do Papa e da Cúria Romana. As meditações têm como tema Iluminados por uma Glória Oculta. Autor e conferencista, é um pensador que procura respostas para as crises profundas do nosso tempo à luz da espiritualidade católica.
And I do think that one of the most crucial questions of the present time is precisely the question of man. You know, what is the human being? What is it to be a human being? It is extraordinary, and it would have seemed strange to us, I think, to most of us, not to all, but 20, 25 years ago, that today we should have such difficulty articulating coherently what constitutes basic categories of humanity, such as man and woman, for instance, and that we should find it so difficult to agree on the significance of human existence, the significance of the human body, what it stands for, what it's intended for, what love is.
Dom Erik Varden fala a partir de uma fronteira existencial e geográfica. A Noruega é vista muitas vezes como um paradigma de secularização, mas o bispo recusa a ideia de que Deus está ausente da história do seu povo.
And when in the general context of secularization and loss of faith, suddenly our voice resounds with much clearer resonance than it did before, and we're conscious that we have an obligation not only to ourselves to keep ourselves nurtured, but also to proclaim to the country, to the society, what we believe in, what our hope is based on.
Como anunciar essa esperança num mundo que parece ter deixado de compreender o vocabulário religioso? A credibilidade da Igreja depende da sua capacidade de tradução e, sobretudo, da coerência de vida.
Above all, we have to present our message in such a way that it is credible, and that is a matter of formulating it intelligently and intelligibly in terms that correspond to people's notions now, so that we don't just stay locked within our own special vocabulary. And it depends on the coherence with which we live out our lives as individuals and as communities.
A coerência exige também olhar de frente para os medos reais. Vindo de um país que faz fronteira com a Rússia, o bispo de Trondheim admite que a paz deixou de ser um dado adquirido na Europa. A guerra na Ucrânia trouxe de volta perguntas fundamentais sobre identidade e defesa de valores.
We certainly have a great awareness now in Northern Europe that the peace we have for decades taken for granted, and which, you know, until not so long ago, just a few years ago, we thought was definitive and unbreakable, is in fact not to be taken for granted, and that peace must be maintained and constructed on principles of justice. And yes, I think the sense of having an enemy, a potential enemy, not that far away, and to suspect that one is the object of strategic plans on the part of a major power, that does cause us to ask, but who are we? And what keeps us together?
Do político para o íntimo. Nas suas reflexões, Dom Eric Varden aborda frequentemente temas como a castidade e o desejo, recusando a ideia de uma igreja repressora.
But I think there's a widespread perception that when it comes to affectivity and sexuality, the only thing the church has to say is no, no, no. You can't do it. Whereas in fact, what the church has to say about affectivity and sexuality is yes. And it has a language and a logic able to put into words some of the deepest yearnings of the human heart and of the human body, based on its understanding of what the human being is in its origin as created and willed by God.
A procura de sentido choca muitas vezes com a cultura do individualismo. No entanto, o bispo de Trondheim acredita que a pandemia deixou uma lição duradoura. O mito de que somos autossuficientes ruiu.
I have a sense that the myth of autonomy has sort of been shattered. I think COVID did quite a lot to shatter the myth of autonomy in our secular context, because suddenly we found ourselves, all of us, atomized, shut off, confined in our own spaces, delivered to ourselves. And for very, very many of us, that experience was immensely painful and humiliating, because we realized that we're not actually self-sufficient. And we realized how we yearn for company, society, attention, touch, conversation.
Este encontro com o outro exige o que Dom Eric Varden chama de olhar puro. Numa sociedade de consumo, onde tudo e todos são vistos como objetos a usar, o bispo avisa: o egoísmo não é apenas um pecado, é a receita para uma vida totalmente aborrecida.
If my way of looking at the world is determined by a gaze that sees whatever it is, human beings, food, cars, objects, nature itself, as something which is there to satisfy my need, my urge here and now. And if I look around and constantly ask myself one question only, what good is this to me? Then life ultimately becomes infernally boring, because I end up imprisoning myself. Even if I have all the wealth in the world, I imprison myself in a mental universe, a universe of consciousness, where there is ultimately just one significant subject.
Para sair deste tédio e reencontrar a sanidade espiritual e também política, o bispo que vai orientar o retiro do Papa sugere um remédio antigo, vindo da tradição monástica: reaprender a estar calado.
We've talked about the importance of relearning to see, and relearning to hear is intimately linked with that other way. To practice a blessed receptivity to things and to hear what is spoken before I myself impose my own reaction. But that is largely how discourse is structured now in our cultural context, our political context, and that is why often it is so unconstructive and so easily becomes belligerent, aggressive and hateful. Because I talk back, I hit back, before I've even considered what has actually been said. So I think that practicing of silence, of learning to hear, is an exercise that is beneficial not only for our spiritual lives, but also for civic well-being, for the common good, and even for political sanity.
São estas as reflexões que Dom Eric Varden levará ao coração da Igreja no retiro que orienta para o Papa e a Cúria Romana no final deste mês.